There are many different metals, and we choose the metal with the properties that best suit the needs of the job. This tower is made of steel for strength and coated with zinc for protection from corrosion. The blades are aluminium because it's light and also corrosion resistant. The electric cables are copper because it is a good conductor. The recording and replay heads on a VCR need to be light, so they're made of an aluminium alloy. Aluminium mixed with small amounts of other metals. Jewellery must stay shiny and not cause skin reactions, so it's made of gold or platinum. Non-ferrous metals are metals that are not iron. The first metal to be discovered was gold. It doesn't corrode, so it's found as the pure metal. It's expensive because it's rare, and it's rare because it's heavy. Most of the gold will have sunk down into the centre of the earth. The crust is made mainly of light elements. Gold is very malleable and can be beaten into a very thin foil and used to coat statues or jewellery. Even after thousands of years, it's still as shiny as ever. It is used in jewellery. Gold is usually mixed with silver or copper to strengthen it and make it cheaper. Gold is the best conductor of electricity, so it is used to coat computer plugs. The connections work every time because there is no oxide coating to stop the electricity. Silver is similar to gold and also used for decoration in jewellery and silverware. However, it is easily tarnished by hydrogen sulfide in the air and needs to be polished quite often. Silver is cheap nowadays because it is not needed as much in making film. And in jewellery has been mostly replaced by stainless steel. Silver soldering is used to join copper parts. It is made of silver, copper and zinc and has a higher melting point than normal solder. Copper is similar to gold and silver. It is soft and a good electrical conductor. It's the third most used metal after iron and aluminium. Copper is the metal of choice for wiring most electrical machinery, appliances and power supplies. It is also used for household water supply as it doesn't corrode in water. It can be easily bent to change direction. And it's easy to join by soldering. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc, usually around 70% copper, 30% zinc. It has a distinctive colour and is malleable, so it can be worked into complex shapes. But it's harder than copper, so it wears better. This is important where products have moving parts. Brass is highly corrosion resistant. This is a plus for a product constantly subjected to the moisture and salts in saliva. A lower copper content produces brass that's harder. This kind of brass is used for tap handles, window and door fittings. They are usually made by casting. Zinc is a soft metal, relatively cheap and not easily corroded. It has a low melting point, allowing steel to be dipped in molten zinc in a hot dip galvanizing process. It is used mainly to coat steel to prevent it from rusting. It forms a hard layer of zinc oxide on the surface. In this plant, the steel is being coated with an alloy made of zinc and aluminium. The steel sheet is passing through a bath of molten zinc alum. Tin is another metal mined in ancient times. It is used as a corrosion-resistant coating that gives a silver finish, as evidenced by this trumpet. Tin is used mainly as a protective coating on steel, like on these tin cans. Nowadays, cans are often coated with a clear varnish. Solder is an alloy of tin and lead and is useful because it has such a low melting point. Aluminium alloys are widely used in aircraft construction, where weight is critical. The leading edge of these wing flaps is made of aluminium alloyed with about 3% copper. It's easy to machine. This is important for repairs as well as construction. Because aluminium is corrosion resistant, it can be used without painting, plating or other protection.
Very close to 100 pound or 45 kilo.
The natural oxide coating can be thickened by a process called anodizing to give a smoother, hard-wearing surface. Dyes can be added to produce coloured finishes. One of the major uses of aluminium alloys is drink canning. Aluminium is highly ductile. This means the sides and base can be made in one piece. They're simply drawn down and pressed out of a flat sheet. It's light, so it's cheap to transport. Because it's malleable, we get a sheet that holds its new shape. Aluminium has a very low melting point. Once it is molten, the oxide coating can no longer protect it, so it then oxidizes very easily. It is expensive because it needs a lot of energy to process it from the aluminium oxide ore, bauxite. This is why it's so eagerly recycled. The main disadvantage of steel is that it rusts. It needs to be protected by a coating that doesn't corrode, such as paint or a non-ferrous metal. Roofing iron is coated with zinc, which doesn't corrode in air or water. If the surface is meant to be shiny and wear resistant, then chromium is the best. This shaft has to slide through an oil seal without leaking. If it was corroded or scratched, it would ruin the seal and the oil would leak out. Nickel is similar to chromium and almost as hard. Both are put onto the base metal by electroplating.